Everybody, good morning. Thanks for joining me. My name's David and this is my channel. Today's video is going to be called Everything We're Looking For Is Not Outside of Us. This is kind of big because one of the things that we believe is not only that the things that we want are outside of us, but we need to control the outside world and somehow condemn it or judge it or like it or not like it. There's this outside world that we put a lot of our attention and focus upon. And that would be like looking in your mirror in the bathroom and putting all your focus on the mirror instead of what was really causing the mirror reflection. I mean, the outside is nothing in a way. It is 100% neutral. So we put a lot of focus on it, not realizing all of it's coming from within us. So we're looking for things out there. We believe what we need is out there. We're worried about what people think of us out there. There's this consistent, very strong presence of an outside world. So therefore, that's where our focus is. Now, in Taoism, I'm a Tai Chi guy. You know, that idea of the Chinese say there's 10,000 things. Now, what does that mean? That just means all of the focus and all the things outside of us, all those things that are moving that seem separate from us and different from us. And then they say, find the yin and yang. And then from the yin and yang, you'll find the wu ji. The wu ji is the one. Now, what are they saying? They're saying take all the different things out there and move them back into two. Now, what are the two they're talking about? The two they're talking about is you, each one of us, and our source energy, or our God, or Holy Spirit, or divine self, whatever you want to call it, soul, and I recommend getting a name for it, so that way you can know exactly how to talk to it, and how to ask, and how to align with that part of you. But there's that, I call it my divine self, so I'll just call it the divine self. So there's me and the divine self, and we are the yin and yang. Now at first, the yin and yang, one black, one white, it seemed opposite. Now, those opposites can either push against each other by turning the magnet from each other and creating some kind of resistance between the two magnets because they are connected, but we have the ability to turn our magnet away from our source and create resistance, so therefore we don't necessarily feel the connection, and we create a lot of resistance between us and our source. Now, the other thing is we can turn the magnet back around and we can now connect with it, and that's the idea of Tai Chi. At first, those two parts of us are like this. And then we learn through different mindset, different understandings to turn our magnet around. And now it flows through us. And now you and your source energy are one. And that's what we're all looking for here. We came here, we are here to connect with who we are. To connect with our source energy, to align with it in such a way so we can start receiving from it. Not the outside. And that's why they say the 10,000 equals the yin and yang, and the yin and yang then become the wu ji, now becomes one. Now, how does that work with us here? Well, if you're looking for money, then you're not looking for the money, you're looking for the way money makes you feel. You're looking for that part of you that feels abundant, that feels full of joy and fun and excitement and eagerness. That's why if we go back to the feeling world, it always helps. See, the feeling world is now. You can change how you feel like that. You can get better and better at changing how you feel. That's the real world. That world of feeling is where your source is, because your source holds a pure positive feeling of all that you are, including your abundance and your prosperity and your opulence. So when we use money as an excuse to not see abundance and flow, then we turn our magnet around and we disconnect from our source and we push it away from us. As you push your source away, you push your money away. You see, everything here is a reflection. And this is kind of hard for us to understand. Everything is a reflection, like a mirror. It's letting you know where your connection with your source is. That's all that it is. There is no meaning coming from out there, even from the people that you know. Are they souls? Do they have the ability? Yes, of course. But from our perspective, they have absolutely no meaning. We give them everything. And when you shine your light upon another soul and you give them the meaning of your divine self, boy, you're going to get it back. It's going to be amazing. They're going to feel that, and then they'll have the opportunity to shine their light upon you. But until then, you guys will reflect back the parts of you that aren't agreeing or trying to hide from each other. But reality, it's the part of you that's trying to hide from your source. The journey is always the journey of you and your source energy. Who you are. It's never a journey of other people. We didn't come here to fall in love with people. We came here to fall in love with who we are. As we align with who we are, then we can then use that person in order to convey the connection of who we are with them. Does that make sense? So everything goes back to the connection of who you are, always. And so everything in your life, let's say if something's flowing, then you're using that experience, that person, that place, whatever it is, to connect to who you are. As you feel the connection to who you are, you then extend it through that place, that thing, that person, and now you feel good. Now, if we use that person and say you're doing it, or that place and saying you're doing it, or that experience say that you're the one making me feel good, now we don't see the source part of us that's actually doing all of it. Do you understand? That's going to cause an issue, and it's going to cause an attachment to that person or that place and that thing, and that's what creates loss. Now, when they leave us, we feel the loss, when in reality, it never had anything to do with them. They were reflecting back to us our relationship with ourselves, always. Now, the other side of that equation is if something is not going well, especially like our body, and our body is hurting, and we're having issues in the body, then it's always the disconnection from who you are and using the body to disconnect from who you are. Therefore, the body is reflecting back a relationship between you and you that's not working. And that's never coming from source, always coming from your perspective. Do you understand? And I know this could be hard to understand, but what happens is that once we understand that everything, every relationship in your life, with everything, every person, every place, is a relationship between you and your source, that yin and yang. And it will either show that you guys are connected and flowing, or it will show that you've turned your magnet around and you've created resistance with your source. And therefore, it will reflect back some kind of resistance. This is why, if you notice, everything is separation. If you notice anxiety, it feels separate. I feel separate and alone. Do you see? Not connected to who I am. If you look at body issues, it feels like it's separate. It's attacking you. See, when things attack us, and this has been so beneficial, and I will share it, there's no attack. When things that seem like they're attacking you, it's always because you've turned your magnet away from your source and you're feeling the resistance. Just like if you take two magnets, you turn one, you'll feel a resistance in between. That part of you that sticks together now becomes a part that pushes you apart. That's what attack feels like. It's always going to feel like one magnet is attacking the other magnet. And I've learned in my life, anytime I feel attacked, it's always coming because I've turned my magnet around against my source. That means I'm using something in my life in order to push against myself. And how do we do that? By attacking something. This is why everything has to be innocent. The more we understand that everything is this magnet turned around between you and your source, and everything out there is a reflection of that relationship, the more you recognize that you can't do anything wrong. You can't fail. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're not agreeing with them and you feel that push against, then you realize it has nothing to do with them. It has to do with you. You're seeing something that your source is not seeing. Therefore, you need to stop, recognize, what is it that I can change? Give it to your source, ask, be one with who you are. Learn how to be one with who you are as much as possible by how you feel. That positive emotion will let you know that you are now connecting back to who you are. From that place, you'll get the insight, you'll get the clarity. Now, because you can't do anything wrong, then the clarity will come. When the clarity comes, then you can now input that clarity into that relationship and the relationship will change. It has nothing to do with past, has nothing to do with any time at all. It has to do with how you feel. You are able to correct as you go all the time. Just like martial arts. If I can't get them flowing a certain way, I can drop my shoulder, I can find where I'm not connected, and then I can allow them to flow. See, everything is now. Everything is now. any thing in your past that has caused you some kind of discord, you can now take it back to your source, realize it was always a connection between you and you, never a connection between them. Therefore, you won't blame them. Now they're innocent. And now you can connect back to who you are and extend that back into that relationship. Do you understand? Even if it's someone that's gone, someone that has moved on, you can still, from your mind, connect to your source, find that connection, and then send it back to them. All minds are joined. There's no time. There's only this one moment, and they will receive it. We have a lot more power than we know when we realize that everything is a connection between you and you. It's all a relationship, and everything is a reflection of you and you. If someone's playing the piano really well, then they are connecting to their source and they are flowing that through the piano, and therefore they are receiving it back. If the hands are not working, it has nothing to do with the piano. It has to do with that for whatever reason, they're using the piano not to connect with who they are in order to get the information, in order to get the wisdom, in order to get the intuition, in order to connect. Do you understand? Now, if we can get this to the best of our ability, a little bit at a time, by recognizing how you feel, always an indicator of a connection between you and not outside, then what happens is the projection, which is the only thing that keeps us really stuck, is pushing it back outside onto people or back outside onto things, will let go. And you will realize this journey was never about outside, it's a journey of inside. Even playing the piano, connecting to who you are, feeling the flow, putting a feeling into the keys, and then allowing the keys to reflect it back. It was never about how you hit the keys. Do you see? When I do forms in Kung Fu, I don't just do the form, I put a feeling in the form. How do I want to feel? And I move in the direction of that feeling, and then as I do that form, it speaks to me, and it brings more things, and clarity comes out. This is a journey of clarity because this place is naturally resistant. Everything you see, believe it or not, is an open door to more. The only thing that stops us from opening that door and allowing so much more to come in that moment is our intellect of what we know. I know, or defending or justifying. Do you see? And that's that idea of addiction to the past, or to the past and to form, so to speak. The more we let go of past, the more we let go of this identity that we have held on to so tight, the more we let go of this idea that I have to create a relationship between this or that person or this or that person, and now everything is outside, me and you, then we can use others, use things, use situations in order to open that door and allow more and more flow between the connection between you and your source. One thing I've learned is that when you connect to your source, it's infinite. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, more blissful, more amazing, more wonderful. You can look at a picture on the wall and receive from it for so long, and it would just get bigger and bigger and more beautiful. You can walk outside and understand that looking at a flower is a connection between you and you. And as soon as you say, this is between me and you, the flower will grow and become more and light and so forth and so on. And that's what it means to shine your light. As we learn this, first we have to unlearn it. First we have to recognize that everything is a connection, and anything we don't like, any triggers in your life, any people, any situations, you're using them to disconnect from who you are. That means there must be a way to use them to connect to who you are. Can you see how this lets go of all blame? The ultimate goal is to use the things in your life to connect to who you are, so you open up a door for more abundance. And abundance is just more things flowing in. It could be more beauty, more love, more joy, more fun, and it can also turn into more manifestations coming into your life, more experiences, more situations. But you can be sure it is the decision that you have made to use this created world, to use this beautiful world in order to connect to who you are. That's the journey. Connection to who you are, and then use the world, use your relationships, use the people, use the experiences in order to connect more and more and more to who you are. As a shining light upon these things. As you shine light and use them to find your joy, to find your love, to find your appreciation, and keep source always in the mix, It will help them understand that they can do the same, that they have new choices to do. They can stop blaming anyone in their life that's causing any discord, and they can start shining their light upon them instead in order to receive. And that's what it means to give in order to receive. Take this with you. I hope this helps shed some light or at least open up some clarity for you. And as always, it is up to you what you receive. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for all your love. Please keep the comments coming. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, my unconditional love and appreciation to you all.